Let's talk about some more fun stuff today. We're going to be talking about the Fresnel node. Last time we talked a little bit about sine and time, which are very important concepts. Today, let's talk about something that's a little bit more niche, but still very, very cool to actually look at. So for this, we're going to just make a new material real quick, which I'll just call something like material Fresnel. You spell it as a Fresnel, but it's a French word, so you pronounce it as Fresnel. You can pronounce it however the hell you want, to be honest, I don't really care. So what does the Fresnel node do? First and foremost, let's just get it up on the screen here. So we have an exponent in and then base refraction in. And now we've got the normal. So let's put this into the base color and see what happens. We get a dark orb with a light fringe on the edge. If we set this to unlit, you can see it a little bit better because the lighting isn't messing with it. So you might be thinking, okay, so this is something that has a 0 to 1 value from the center to the edge of an object. And then I will set this to the cylinder preview type and it suddenly looks a lot different. There's suddenly no highlighting here at all on the top and the bottom, only on the edges. If I set this to the cube, it kind of almost doesn't do anything. On very glancing angles, you can see a little bit. Again, do be aware that this is an unlit, so this is not lighting bouncing off. This is the Fresnel node itself changing the color of this surface. So what does the Fresnel node do? In the simplest terms, the Fresnel node gives you a value on how perpendicular of an angle a normal is to your camera normal. So if we've got like our camera here, so let's just draw a little camera. This has a normal, which is just the direction that this camera is facing. If we then have a surface here, for instance, a cube, so let's just draw a very bad cube real quickly, right? All of these surfaces also have normals. So this one points that direction, this one points that direction, and this one points that direction. The more perpendicular these normals are to the normal of the camera, the higher the value will be on a scale of 0 to 1. So if we are looking straight onto a face, so again, let's draw a cube here real quick, and I will definitely get all of the awards for my incredible art skills. So if our camera is looking straight at this face over here, this is going to be entirely black, entirely 0. At the same time, this face over here, let's just draw a quick little arrow to it, is going to be entirely white. The thing though is, if we're looking at a cube, you're not going to be able to see the top and the bottom face when you're looking at one of the side faces, because that's just how geometry works. Unless you have a very wide field of view, in which case you might be able to glance some parts of it. So for cubes, this doesn't really work that well. But now if we have a sphere, which is a lot harder to draw in 3D, because a sphere is just a circle, and I'm not going to be shading this, but if we have a sphere, that suddenly works a lot better, because we can see a lot of individual faces, all with slightly different normals. And if we look right at a sphere, we can still see a lot of the faces pointing in damn near perpendicular directions. So for spheres and curved surfaces is usually what we use Fresnel nodes for, to highlight those edges. A pretty famous example of how you can use something like this is the edge highlighting that happens in Breath of the Wild, in the Zelda game, right? We have these little edges to make models stand out a little bit more against the background, and something like that you can do with Fresnel. Another good example of something that a Fresnel node can do is something like this Spirit Bomb. We all know the Spirit Bomb. It's got this very bright inside, and then it's got this little blue fringe on the outside. Doing something like that in 3D, you would do with a Fresnel node. So in the Dragon Ball games, I can pretty much guarantee you the Spirit Bomb, and probably a lot of the beam attacks actually, are using Fresnel nodes to give that little bit of a highlight to the edges of the attacks. And the upside to using a Fresnel node is that because it's all normal based, it actually works from any given direction. Whatever direction you're looking at this attack from, it's going to have that little highlight on the outside, because that is how things are calculated. So let's dive back into Unreal Engine here, and I'm going to go back in the material preview for a sphere, because again, that's mostly the shape that works with this the most. And we're going to, instead of using this for the base color, what I actually want to do here, and we'll go back into lit mode, why not? We'll set this material here, instead of from opaque, I'm going to set this to translucent. Because one thing that I personally like using Fresnel for is using it for the opacity. Because now you can see we've got this little thing that's see-through except for on the edges. And then of course we can give this any color we want. So let's make a like spirit bomb kind of deal, right? Let's make this a little bit blue. And we can see we have like this little blue fringe on the outside. Everything else is entirely invisible. It's not very much like a spirit bomb because that would be entirely opaque all the way through. We'll get back to that in a moment. I just want to show you a couple of other things. Because we can make this into like more of a soap bubble as well. That's kind of what it is already, but we can see through it a little bit too much. So if we go and look for refraction, we can set the refraction method to refraction of index. And that will enable the refraction output pin in our material. Refraction index of different surfaces, you're just going to need to look up, like water, I believe, off the top of my head, is 1.333 repeating. And then you've got like other material properties. This is just like a physics thing, right? This is just how things are in the real world. They're categorized with a certain number. We're going to go with 13333 for now. And we will multiply that with the Fresnel. So actually, we'll multiply that with the Fresnel with 1 minus x. If we 1 minus this, it's actually quite a cool effect in and of itself. We'll have the exact opposite. We'll have a very opaque center, and it's going to get more and more transparent as we go toward edges. And that's what we want for the refraction here. So we'll use the opacity right from the Fresnel node. We'll 1 minus this and then multiply it by 1.3333 repeating, and then put it into the refraction. And that should give you a little bit more of a refracted look. And you can see it happening a little bit. If you can't see it happening, you want to go into your settings up here in your engine scalability. If you have this set to like medium, for instance, you can see it doesn't actually do refraction on medium properly. I think setting it to high or epic will make you use the refraction. So if you want to know specifically which of these settings impact the refraction, it is the effects. If we set this one to medium specifically, you can see there's no refraction. If we set this back to high now, we suddenly do have the refraction. So we can actually just set everything to medium and just the effects to high, and we still have the refraction going on here. So this is how we can make like a little bit of a glassy bubble kind of feel. I always like doing this, but we're going to go back to an opaque material because we're going to make something like a spirit bomb, I believe, just because that's kind of like awesome. It's gonna be a very simple spirit bomb. I don't want to like set your expectations all too high. So let's set this back to opaque, in which case we might as well also make sure that our refraction is set to none again, because we're not going to be refracting anything. And this is simply just a matter of, instead of using the base color, we're going to be using the emissive color output. And we're going to be using the Fresnel here as the alpha for a lerp. So we can lerp, use the Fresnel as the alpha, and then have this as the A color. And then we have another color as the B color. So let's set that to like a darker blue, maybe a purplish, I don't know, evil spirit bomb. Emissive color, and this is the wrong way around, I think. We want this to be the A color, and then that to be the B color, maybe. Yeah, there we go. So now we have this little thing where the outside is tinged blue. Maybe we want to make this just a little bit like more blue because it doesn't actually work all that well. But we're getting somewhere, right? And we can apply a lot of like noise textures to this to give more, well, texture to the entire thing. But we've gone over all that, so we're not going to be talking about that too much. What I do want to talk about is how to influence the edge here. So let's unhook the emissive color for now and just put this directly back into the base color. And we're going to set this to unlit just to show you it in the best way possible. For the most part, it's just the exponent in that we want to care about. If we set that to being lower, you can see that the gradient is a lot smoother. If we set that to be even higher, you can see it's even a sharper edge. So the default value I think was 4, maybe 5. I think it was 5. So let's set this like to 2.5, having a little bit more of a gradient there. You can see the base refraction index. That is, again, similar to the refraction index that we just talked about for the actual refraction of the material. Usually you don't really want to touch this too much, but you can set this to like a lower value and we'll just see what that does. That also kind of offsets the sensitivity of the entire thing. So if we set this to like 0.5, an insanely high number, the entire thing is going to be like white. Again, the default value here is 0.04. So if we set this to 0.1 even, you can see it's kind of like a general offset that you can apply. If you just set this to 0 altogether, you see that it gets a little bit darker. I generally just would advise to keep your hands off of this. Now, the Fresnel normal actually is interesting to work with, because if you don't put anything into this, it's just going to use the normal from the actual geometry. It says it here, defaults to pixel world normal if not specified. So this uses the normal, not actually of the geometry, but also of normal maps that you have applied to this thing. So if we like get a texture, and we get a very noisy normal map here, and we put that into our normals, we should be able to see that that also impacts the Fresnel node. So the more detail you have either in geometry or in normal maps, the more you're going to get out of this Fresnel node as well. But also do be aware, if you don't want that, you probably don't want to be using normals. Or rather, you don't want to be using the Fresnel node with the default input, because you can input custom normals in here. So if we, for instance, just input a vector 3 with a z value of 1 and put that into the normal, we're now going to get this weird effect where it's not comparing each individual face's normal, with normal maps applied of course, to the camera direction. It's comparing the camera direction to the up normal. So if the camera direction is the up normal, we see that it's black. If the camera direction is a sideways normal, the entire thing is now entirely white. And if it is the down normal, it is also entirely white. So that doesn't like go the other way necessarily. And you can do really, really interesting stuff with this, right? So if you do want to do this like based on geometry, for instance, but you don't want the normal maps to be influenced at all, what you can do is you can just get a world space normal. You can see that still works the exact same way. But if we get the world space normal for the vertex, instead it's going to be doing it purely based off of geometry. So it's going to be ignoring the normal map now. Again, this is just what it uses by default. You can do some really interesting stuff, doing custom calculations and putting in custom normals here to make this node so much more impressive and usable. But for now, let's just put this in here and we have our spirit bomb. Maybe like a full level 5, and then we can make the difference between these two colors like a lot more, so that's a lot more apparent, maybe. Maybe put them into the emissive color. At this point, we can just like play around a little bit. Maybe make this a little bit more like saturated toward green as well. And then just see, oh, we want to make this a lower number. It's very counterintuitive, as you see. You want to make this number lower when you want the gradient to be bigger, because math. And just like that, we're creating a little bit of a spirit bomb-like. So there's quite a cool effect that you can use for a lot of stuff. I wanted to cover it just because it's a little bit niche, but it's also a very fun node. And for the full course, if you're watching this in the future, it should be all up on the YouTube channel already. But if you're watching this shortly after it was uploaded, there will be a link down below in the description to the Patreon where you can find the full course. And a very big thank you to all of my Patreons. You can see them on screen right now. If you want to help out supporting the channel, there's a link down below in the description to the Patreon page. And a special thanks to my Cave Digger tier Patreons, Sir J. Thomas,